And MEC, thank you for coming through to studio and talking to me. So what exactly do you plan to do with e-waste? And how's that different from how we're dealing with waste in general that gets generated in our daily activities?
We're going to make sure that as Gauteng provincial government, the e-waste has become one of the important things that if you are unemployed, it's going to create more opportunities, especially to young ones. Hence, we had the agreement with the Johannesburg of University that we have signed on Tuesday, because we want to train young people so that they can understand what is this e-waste. And yesterday, I went to their class when they started, because they were teaching them the basics of the e-waste. What are you talking about? Yeah. You're talking about electronics, yes, electronic gadgets, your laptops, your old computers that are sitting at home, your floppy disk, as you are aware, even all other things, including those things that you tend to undermine the kettle.
Kitchen appliances. Yeah.
It falls under e-waste, your iron and other things that you plug them. Those are the things that we want.
Because sometimes you've got these things and they add into the clutter in your house. You just don't know how to get rid of them.
Absolutely. If you go to your garage, you'll find them packed in the garage. If you have any spare room, that everyone will just go and drop some things there. So there are a lot of us in every household that we have those e-waste. But somebody phoned me yesterday and the person was saying to me, don't only focus on the household. Can you focus on the corporate? Because even at corporate, you find e-waste. In government departments, indeed, you find e-waste. You go to our schools, e-waste is there because we have old laptops that have been there that are no longer utilized by the students because we've changed how the environment is changing. So, but we're saying to everyone, don't throw those things away. It's important that you bring them to the Gauteng provincial government.
So other than letting them pile up in spaces in our houses and offices and basements, and I think I saw a quote of you talking about government offices and basements having a lot of old computers.
Oh, yes.
Other than doing that, what have we been doing with e-waste until now, and why does that not work? What are you seeking to change?
We've not been doing anything about it because we're throwing it like any other waste. And it was hazardous, remember, because they are saying now, researchers are saying that was the worst thing that we're doing as government, even as citizens. So this portion now that we're doing will take the other e-waste and then make sure that it's recycled so that it doesn't become hazardous. And we're going to work with private sector because there are companies already like AST that we've identified that will be partnering with us, with government, whilst Johannesburg University will be helping us now to improve and be able to manage it better, training even young people that must do that, because nobody is trained even to do recycling for e-waste as provincial government.
What's the scale of this project that we're talking about in terms of what corridors for e-waste to be recycled will be created, at what cost, and perhaps over what period of time?
We'll definitely create it in the 5 corridors of the province. Already we're identifying specific areas where everyone will go and drop off whatever is needed, and we'll even have the bins, these big bins that will talk to companies. Then we'll put them in certain spots like your garages. When you go to the garage, we'll say, go to that engine garage if it's engine, but we're still going to have negotiations with some of the garage owners to help us to have those big bins that will be put there so that you can go and drop whatever you want to use. But we'll have customer care centers in the regions. Already we are busy with negotiations with the 5 regions. Those customer centers want people to go there and drop off there, and then we'll go and collect and send it to relevant places so that it can be recycled there.
How will I know, MEC, that your project is succeeding? Will it be when I see one e-waste bin at the local filling station where I stay, and that happens to be the only e-waste bin that I see in the entirety of the region where I stay, or should I look forward to a day when I know for a fact that every few kilometers there's an e-waste collection bin that, if I've got this microwave oven that I don't know what to do with, I can pop it in my boot, and basically I know that there will be somewhere for me to deposit it?
We'll definitely have communication through media. People like yourselves will assist us to publicize what we're talking about, but we will definitely identify those specific days that please, this is the day that we're collecting. But the drop-offs, once you have those bins that are stationed there, you can go and drop off, and then it will be collected on a specific day. But we will still have other areas that will say, because sometimes you don't want to throw that thing, that gadget. It will be tested, and then we'll say, go to this specific place where it will be tested. Then after we've tested it, we see that it's working. It's up to you whether you leave it to us so that we can make it better, so that we can come and buy it with a certain fee now from us. So we will be creating even those specific areas where we will test those specific gadgets that you are bringing, whether it's your cell phone, your laptop, your computer, those who have old computers that still believe that they still want to utilize them, we will do that.
But of course, MEC, old habits die hard. So what incentives are there for me to, rather going through the schlep of carrying this thing to a drop-off bin, what's there to make me change my habit of just popping it in a box and just throwing it out with the waste and putting it in a bin?
We will definitely have some incentives indeed for those who are like you, who doesn't want to do that, because we will even have cars that will be rotating on a specific day. We will say to you, there will be a car that will be stationed in this place. Can you please go and drop off this? Then, so there will be that communication, including the hotline that we're going to use.
Sure.
We are going to have a hotline that you phone us to say, I'm not prepared to come there. Can you come and collect it? Then we will do that, because some companies, the private companies, were saying to us, we even go and collect for those citizens who doesn't want to move and take this thing there. Because sometimes it's big. It's unlike you are lazy, but this equipment that you are having at home, maybe your old equipment for photocopy, that equipment, it's huge. You will need somebody to come and collect it. So those are the measures that we are going to do.
Right. MEC, experience has taught us to always scrutinize the work that you do as government. So again, I ask you, show me the money. How much is the provincial government spending on this? And secondly, how sure are we that there isn't some Busasa type of company that we are not aware of yet, but may become aware of 5 years from now, that has got some connections to yourself, to officials in your department, officials in your regions, that has an in on this project?
You are asking the right person, because now let me put my cap as an MEC for eGovernment. You are talking to an MEC for Treasury. We are going to comply. On the 9th of March, I'm going to announce the budget that is going to be assigned specifically for this project, because already we've done the rands and cents. Treasury team is going to give us a certain amount of money that is eGovernment will be using, but there will be compliance definitely, and we're not expecting any favors, and we're not expecting any corruption on this issue. We'll definitely scrutinize and monitor that, including the legislature, because we presented to them this concept even before we took it to the cabinet. Everybody okayed it, but I know good things are always disturbed by those that doesn't like things that must be done correctly. So we will want transparency in this project. So you will be aware. We'll definitely from time to time brief you on the expectations. But next week I will be announcing what is allocated for the e-waste specifically as a big project that is kicking off in the province.
As a custodian of our finances as well, in your other cap as the MEC for Finance, you will agree with me that South Africans are fed up, particularly, I mean, including here in Gauteng, that whole school, fumigation, or was it spraying project?
It was a good thing, but it tended to be a bad thing at the end.
So you would agree that South Africans are fed up?
No, I know they are fed up, and I think some of us must assist South Africans and be at the same level as they are in terms of accountability and compliance when we are being given responsibility to look into the funds and the resources of the country.
MEC, I've got to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
MEC Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko joining me in studio to talk about the new initiative that her Department of eGovernment is taking in as far as electronic and electrical waste is concerned.